Alright, so in this part of the tutorial series, we're going to do the following things. Our goal is to modify the scene delegate to show a login screen. We're going to set up a login query with Firestore. We want visual feedback when things work, and we want to fix the login screen aesthetics. So let's go one by one. First, modifying the scene delegate to show the login screen. So let's go here. Go to scene delegate. Alright, and I did this already in advance, so I'll just go back to the way yours looks right now. Yours should just say sign up, right? And if you just come here and say login view, that should take care of that. And I mean, we might as well get these things to look correct. These are just variables that we created, so copy that, paste it there, and that should be enough, to be honest with you. So that's that. All right, go ahead and get rid of that now. All right, next thing we got going on, setting up a login query. So right now, what do we have going on so far? I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of what I had already started working on a little bit. So yours looks like this right now. It says button, action, and right now it's not doing anything, okay? And when we had last talked, this was not here as well. Sorry, my computer died actually. Since before I had the chance to Control Z everything. So what you should have is you should have kind of like this placeholder area here. What we need to do is we need to create two new state variables. Okay, so the first state variable is going to be private var. It's going to be the username. You're not getting this issue because of the fact that there's still kind of like that default thing they put there. But what you can do is you can just come here and paste that in there for username, and we'll do another one of these. Sorry, that should be there. Go to password, and we can just do the same thing right there. There should be $sign down here and not up here. And so that's that. That takes care of that part. Now what we need to do is we need to set up this login query. So I spent some time kind of figuring out what we want to do with it. And in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to do a Firestore call. And we need to go to the collection users. I gotta specify that with a string. And then I can just search by it saying search for essentially any documents and users where there's a field called username and it's equal to, and then I'll copy this so we can really look at it inside Xcode. But what I'm trying to find, so I'm going to paste that in here for the action of the login button. Okay, so I'm saying show me all of the documents within collection users where the field username is equal to self.username. And self.username is bound to whatever is written inside the text field username. And I tell it go get documents, and it gives me back a snapshot or a query snapshot and an error. And what we're going to do is we're going to just we're going to handle that error, some error handling, and we'll say if let error equals error, because this is optional. And so if let error equals error, print, and then we'd say here's the error that we're going to print. And if not, then we'll say for documents in query snapshot, what we want to do is just print that document here in the little print area, this console or debugger area. And one thing to realize is that just because you might not get something back, like for instance, if this user doesn't exist, that doesn't mean you got an error. It just means you got an empty return. So if somehow the user searches for or tries to log in with a fake username, it's actually not an error. So we just need to put some logic in here for validation of what comes back. That's not necessarily an error though. So let's go ahead and hit save. Resume. Now I'm not gonna use this canvas actually. I'm gonna come here and kill this canvas now because I'm not gonna be using this anymore. We're kind of getting to a complexity level that is a bit beyond the scope of the canvas. So simulator is running. It'll just take 1 second. Alright. That should be good now. Sorry, things are a little slow here sometimes with these simulators. Just going to double check this to-do list. So that'll essentially give us the login query we're looking for. We can go back, look at our Firebase. Go to Firebase. Let's go to the console. So you can go to console.firebase.google.com. We're working on this project. And if we look inside our database, if you remember, we made at least one username with the username of CG. Things are case sensitive, okay? So, going back to the simulator now. There we go. What we're going to do is inside the simulator, we're going to search for that user with CG. I don't know what the problem is here with the simulator sometimes. So here we go. So alright, CG. Make sure you understand it's case sensitive. So I'm gonna hit login, and then if you look right here, I just actually got a Snapchat back. Said that returned to me the value of username CG, email code@chrisgerges.com. My name is Chris G. Password is potato, and that matches up perfectly with this document that we had inside the users collection. So I was able to successfully search within users, found all the documents where there's a username of CG. Okay, and that makes plenty of sense. So now that we got that taken care of, let's look back at our to-do list. Let's get some visual feedback, okay? Just for now. So let's say that if the query snapshot documents, that's the number of documents that come back that match your query. Let's say if that count is less than or equal to 0, then what I want to do is, even better. Let's actually do something even better than that. We'll stick with that for now. I was going to embed this function somewhere so we can use it a couple times, but this can be a completion handler style thing, and I don't really want to deal with it right now. So if query snapshot.documents, if the count is less than or equal to 0, it couldn't really be less than 0. Let's just put that there. In my opinion, it's safer. So what we'll do is we're going to use this SPAlert. Okay. So if you followed along and used the CocoaPods I imported SPAlert. You can just put something in the print, down here, but I'm going to use that because I want a visual feedback on the screen. So I'm going to do this. And right here. So I'll say let alert view. I'm creating an instance of alert view. Okay, I'm going to give it a title of, to make it say, no users found. And the message will say, no users have the username you entered. Okay, and style will be sp.alert.preset, and let's just do, we'll just do error. So that's how you set up one instance of that, and then I'll say the duration. I want it to last 3 seconds. Then I want it to present it. So if I save it, I'm going to actually go ahead and create a couple of these. So okay, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go inside and say, I'll say else. Then I'll string into polarization. And I'll say it'll be query snapshot dot documents dot account, and then we'll say login query came back positive. And the last thing I want to do is I actually want to take that same set of log. I want to take the same alert view. I want to use it in the sign up screen as well. So we'll go to the sign up screen, and where we had this no error, I'm going to put that and have it say account created successfully. And one thing we'll need to do is programmatically dismiss this when it's a sheet. You need to make sure we import the SPAlert library into this specific page. We'll say success. We use done. That's what we'll use. Done. Save it and go back to login view one more time. We'll just change this one to done as well. Let's run it. Right now we don't have a programmatic dismissal of the sheet for the sign up view. That's definitely something we'll need to do. So let's start by going to the sign up view. Let's create we haven't set that up either technically. Let's just start by trying to log in here. CG login. It says one user found. Now what if I try to do CGJ login? No users found. So that means that this is a successful query. Login, one user found. So that works. Now let's go to that login view, and where we had the sign up button, let's remove this whole text. This is sign up. We actually just want to show a sign up view. Now we'll run it again. There we go. We'll say sign up. And create a new account. We'll do make this one say, let's say CG CAG with a capital C. Okay. So it'll be at yahoo.com. Don't try emailing this. This is not real. Okay, the username actually is gonna, that's the username is just going to be CAG. So we're just going to make this Chris again, and the password will be CCCCCC. All right, we'll sign up. Account created successfully. What we want to do is we want to include a programmatic dismissal of this, but in the meantime, let's just go check. Sure enough, here's our third account, CAG111, Chris, and everything matches up perfectly. So we can dismiss this right now by just swiping it down. Now we can just go straight here, say CAG, login, one user found. So, as you can tell, this is working pretty smoothly. Alright, so looking now at what we had left to do. So now we already finished these. Okay, let's fix those login screen aesthetics. Okay. So I went ahead and created exactly what I wanted in advance. So we'll go ahead and start setting it up. So what we're going to be making is the following. Right here. I'll hit resume. I thought this looked a lot nicer. And the first thing we'll do in order to do this is we're going to create 3 default colors, okay? So I want to create these somewhere special, somewhere up here. And I'm going to say var light blue. These are colors I'm going to use throughout the entire app, okay? Color.init. Okay. I'm going to make 3 of these. I'm going to make it dark blue, and then V dark blue. Okay, and we're going to make this our login page. Okay, and the numbers for the RGB for the dark blue is going to be 47, 75, and 135. So 47, 75, 135. Okay, that's for dark blue. The light blue that we'll be using, that one will be 91, 152, and 198. 91, 152, and 198. And then the V dark blue will be 2, 51, and 92. And that's right, it's 92. Make sure everything is over 255. Because it's technically a fraction from 0 to 1, or decimal. Okay, so now that we created that, we'll go to the login view. And I'm going to create a Z-stack, okay, and this Z-stack is going to hold everything. I do that by embedding this V-stack into a Z-stack. Okay, put a linear gradient behind everything. That linear gradient, I like to drag and drop it, it's just easier. I've never seen that happen before, so it's fine. I'll go ahead and just copy what I had. You can see what I did. So we'll talk through it. So it's a linear gradient, okay? The gradient colors are going to be our new dark blue color, and it's going to go into our V dark blue. Okay, it's going to start at the top and end at the bottom. The edges are going to ignore all the safe areas, okay? Underneath that, we have our V-stack that we've been working on. So that V-stack is, we're going to get rid of this fading carousel image _2. Well, we're actually going to change it to, for me, I'm going to be using the slogan, but you can put whatever you want. You can even just leave that image for now, kind of as a placeholder. But I'm going to use the slogan of what will be the final app here, okay? And I'm going to make that resizable, scaled to fit, okay? Scaled to fit, not to fill, or else it just wouldn't look the way you're hoping for. And then I'm going to make its width equal to the UI screen's main bounds. So UI screen, main, bounds, size, width over 2. That means half the width of this main screen. Okay? So those are the 3 attributes you need for your image up top. Okay? Just going to go up here, grab it, paste it. Only 3 images you need for that. So you have linear gradient, a V-stack with an image with those 3 attributes. Okay? Then I'm going to grab this text field. And if you look what we did for this text field, it's the same text field. We gave it some padding. Okay? We gave it a background color of clear. Nothing has changed there. Okay? Now the next thing I'm going to do, we can actually, next thing we need to do is we need to give it a frame height of 50. Okay, and we will that gives the actual text field a height, and now I'm going to overlay a capsule on top. This is the capsule right here. Okay, and the capsule is going to have a line width of 2 and a stroke. It's going to be a stroke line width of 2 and a foreground color of white. So I'm going to say dot overlay capsule dot stroke line width of 2 foreground color dot white, and then at the very end I'm going to put padding over top of it so we have space between it and whatever comes after it. Okay, and then we'll do that. This is the proper way it should be indented. Okay. Then, to save time, I'll copy what we just made together, not what I had over here. We just made this one together. I'm going to paste it, and I'm just going to change the things that are written here. So this will say password, and its bindable object will be password. Then I'm going to take this new login button, okay, the one we've been working on. I'm going to get rid of the spacer that was between this text field and the button, okay, and I don't want to accidentally modify the action, so I'm going to close up the action. But whatever's inside, I want it to be the text login. I want it to be the image of system name arrow right, so that's already there. And now, on the outside of that H stack that we had already set up, I want to put a frame height of 50 and this min width of 0 and max width of dot infinity. That lets this button expand all the way out to the right and left, and it gives it a height of 50. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so frame. I need 2 of those. Okay. I'm going to give it a height, and I promise this will be the final login aesthetics for this page, okay? I know it can be a little frustrating to work on aesthetics so much. Some of you guys love it, some of you guys don't. So if you don't like it, you can keep this just working functionally. Max. And just ignore the aesthetics things we do. Dot infinity. Okay. And this one, we're actually not going to give it a capsule. We can just essentially give it a corner radius and a background color. So the background color we're going to give it is going to be the light blue color. We're going to give it a corner radius of 25. The key is you have to give it half of the height has to be the corner radius. That's what gives it a perfect circle rounded edge. Okay. Then we kept that spacer underneath it, right there. And then we'll put this don't have an account question. We'll give it a foreground color of white. So text. This is not a button, technically. Don't have an account. Foreground color dot white. That's how we can get it to look like that. And then we will leave that button with its action. We don't want to touch that. We just want to change the color. This sign up right here. We want it to be a text with padding. We want it to have a clear background and a foreground color of light blue. That's light blue, okay? So the only thing we really need to change here is this light blue. That's the only thing we had to change since we had last touched this together, okay? So what it should look like, and I'm gonna grab everything and I'm gonna re-indent it, alright? So now what you should have is a button that says the action is sign up visible dot toggle. Inside you'll have the text sign up with the padding, and outside over the entire button you should have a background of clear, a foreground color of light blue, and when it's pressed you should be presenting the sign up view, and it should be bound to the sign up visible object. Alright, in the next tutorial we'll keep going, and we will let's looking at this to-do list. We will navigate to the tab root view when you successfully log in, and yeah, so I'll see you in the next one.